Welcome to the East I Live Daily Grow with myself, Todd Locks, the People's Champion. First of all, I would like to thank our sponsor right now, which is Full Deck Print and Design in Wood River. Check them out for all your print designs. You need some logos. You need your vehicle wrapped. Look at this. Look at this vehicle right here they have wrapped. Look at this trailer. Bam. That's great work right there. If you need something like that done, let them know. You want to make a scratch off? Bam. You got a crotch rocket? You're flying around town. You want to put Slayer on it? Slay on. There you go. Get a hold of I forgot their name. Full Deck. It's right here, giant in the back of me, and they will take care of it. So I didn't really have anything to talk about this today, so I put a little link on, and I said, hey, anybody wants to jump on? Let's have a free for all. So anybody out there, I'm going to put it in the comments right now. The link. There it is. Jump on. Let's all up to 10 people. I did that, and you know what? And one of my best buddies in the whole world, my original battle buddy, my foxhole buddy, Justin Brown, who claims to never, ever watch this show. All he does is rip on me for doing it. Here he is. Welcome, Justin Brown.
What's up?
What's up, bud? You know what? You and I talked for like 22 minutes before the show. Not anything about this. I didn't even tell you about this. We were just chatting, just our normal morning rants, and then here you are. I don't know if we still have things to talk about. Do we?
I don't know, but I have no idea how I made this happen in like the 2.3 minutes. It was you sent me the link.
That's what she said. So, anyway, so you and I were just talking about you. I'm gonna put you on blast. People are gonna think this is scripted, and I promise it's not. Put you on blast a little bit. You just kind of you're kind of on a roller coaster with your eating and exercising. And you just jump right now. You're climbing up the slope, the hill on it right now. So you're eating well and kind of make a little health change here recently, right?
Yeah, it's just been a struggle. I mean, you know better than anybody. We've talked about it. It's just been a struggle, and I got sucked down the rabbit hole on YouTube about clean eating. And man, like I told you this morning, I've been almost a week, no dairy, no bread, no added sugar. I've ate some fruit. The only dairy I've had is Greek yogurt, and no coffee. And man, I called you this morning because like I've been sleeping great. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's just the real first thing that I've noticed. You and I did not talk about you coming on here today at all. I just want to let people know that we just had a morning. When you're eating better like that and you get rid of the sugar and processed things, it's just it's like the best medicine there is. One, it makes you get rid of the pharmaceutical medicines, and eating clean, just your joints feel better, you sleep better, right? Oh yeah, I mean it's 1 week. You know what I mean? Like I already feel the difference, and it's in my sleep. You know what I mean? I can't imagine what, is to come,
After 2 weeks or a month or the rest of your freaking life.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We went on a serious rant this morning about the sugar industry, just healthcare, just all of that, just in a phone conversation. And man, I tell you what, it's one of those things, like the more you know about it, the more mad you get.
Yeah, I mean, people have heard me talk about this a million times. The studies done back in, I don't know if it was the 30s, 40s, 50s, how the scientists were paid by the sugar companies to say that fat made you fat and not say that sugar made you fat. And it's really sugar and they've heard me go on this 1,000. Sugar is literally the devil. It's an inflammatory. It makes your joints hurt. It freaking cancer cells. You and I talked about this. I read that book Outlive. I think that's the name of it. Peter Attia. And how cancer cells eat sugar? And people could get rid of so many medications. And we talked about, you and I talked about dementia, and that's in the book about things like that, how sugar and that causes those type of things.
Yeah. It's like they're calling it, there's studies out there, they're calling it type 3 diabetes.
Right.
Instead of, dementia, because it's solely linked to insulin and sugar and, just the whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked about how the best scientists in the world are out there making this stuff addicting. You know what I'm saying? It's like we said, you can eat it. You can go eat a steak, and once you get full, like you just quit eating the steak.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's like,
You hand me a bowl of that cookies and cream Blue Bunny premium, bud. I'll eat that thing until I just busting at the seams. You know?
well, I mean, you think about it, it's such an easy sell. It tastes so good. It's not like
Yeah.
they make, you know, kidney beans, you know, that were, like, you know,
Calm
that's,
down, Grandma. Kidney.
I'm just saying that's the thing that kills you. You know, of course it's sugar. It's great. You know what I mean? It tastes
Yeah.
great. Who doesn't like donuts and pies and cakes? And I mean, it's just too easy. For them.
They have the best marketing people in the world out there making this stuff, like putting it out there, making us want to like you talked about this morning. You were pissed off about the milk industry.
Dude, I'm serious.
Got milk, man. They'd put this little bitty scrawny dude next to like an NBA, like an NFL football player, but I'm drinking milk.
Milk does the body good. Remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, like Walter Payton, like all these guys. Like, dude,
yeah.
I remember I was like 34 years old when I realized that there was sugar in milk. And I was like, that's it, man. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
They tell us that they act like, oh, milk is this great source of protein. There's as much sugar in milk as there is protein, you know?
And to think about, like, I don't know. I mean, have you ever had milk without sugar? Like, I don't know what it tastes like. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Good.
I bet not. You know what I mean? But like, and then they had chocolate and strawberry and whatever else.
Yeah, you think about some of the marketing thing, like Wheaties. You kind of touched on, Walter. Like Wheaties back in the day, they act like the breakfast of champions. And then you had Bruce Jenner when he was a man, and he was the ultimate like athlete back then. And it was always like they put these superstar athletes on the box, showing you like this is the breakfast of champions. They've earned their spot on the box. And Wheaties is just processed food. There's nothing good. There might be a 1% of fiber in there or something like that, but Wheaties is terrible for you. But they are able, and the government doesn't do anything. Like they can make these outrageous claims, and it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's good.
Remember, everybody had the milk mustache. Like,
got milk. Yeah, exactly. It looks like you got a little one right there. Oh no, just a little gray right there. You got a little milk down here, bud.
Yeah.
Hey, I think you're the only one jumping on here, man.
Your friends list is pretty short.
You think one of the millions of people that they're probably watching this. So this weekend I'm headed up to the state wrestling tournament. You were a little stud little wrestler back in your day.
I don't know, man. These kids now, like, I mean, just in the past few years with Wojo and Bryce, and I mean, you just name, dude. I was not a good wrestler compared to these guys. Like,
well, in your day, yeah, things are different. Things are different these days.
Yeah, man, it is something else. I like. Me and 3 other people listened to your show the other day about Bryce when Bryce was on, and man, just the level of confidence that kid has, and rightfully so. It's not arrogance. You know what I mean? If you get to know him, it's not that, like, man, just to be that good at something is.
I mean, a guy like Bryce or Abe, they walk out there on the mat and they've known for sure that they've put in the work. They're as prepared. Like they can't blame anything on lack of preparation. Do you know what I'm saying? They've wrestled all over the country throughout the year. They've done tons of strength and conditioning stuff. They know walking out there, they've done everything. And when you've done everything you possibly can to prepare in every way, your confidence is through the roof,
Oh yeah. And it's like, and I don't know this, all the details because I don't follow it as closely, but like last year with Bryce, like I know how good Bryce is, like the guy that he competed against last year, like, dude, like, you know what I mean? Like one day Bryce is, and I know he's met his match before because he has some losses this year. Like, dude, to see 2 guys that have equally prepared to wrestle on that mat, you're not going to see it this weekend. Right, in his weight class, but him going off to college next year, somebody has prepared as much as he has, and to see those two battle it out like gladiators is going to be something to see, man.
And you and I both love wrestling, and I love any combat sports because it's just the ultimate man versus man, one on one. You can't blame anyone else but yourself.
Yeah.
I don't, and I know you're the same. Don't you encourage everyone to just try to get their kids at an early age, try to get them to try wrestling? If they don't like it and they don't want to stick with it, that's up to them. But man, I think it's so helpful in life. It just it gives you confidence, right?
Yeah, dude. I mean, Bryce said it, and like I was typing it out as he said it, as I think both of you did. Like after wrestling, everything else is easy.
Everything, yes.
Dude, I have a story from just a short one from basic training. I joined the Army at 20 years old.
Thank you for your service. I know freedom isn't free, and thank you for that.
You too, buddy.
Carry on, Private.
And I was a couple years after high school, so like I wasn't in the greatest of shape, but I was still 20 years old. I had a wrestling coach, rest in peace, Rob Clarkson, old Woody. But dude, I laughed the entire time during basic training, and I had finally one of the drill instructors was like, "Man, why are you constantly laughing? Like we punish you, you laugh. This is so easy compared to wrestling." And they're like, "What do you mean?" They were getting all mad and kind of butthurt about it because they're these big time drill instructors. I'm like, man, we work out, and we get to eat. Like this is amazing, like
yeah, you're at the end of each training session, you can go eat your face off, whatever.
Basically whatever you want. I'm like, man, I used to do this kind of stuff for 8 hours a day with no food for a week. It's like
8 hours a day. Okay, that might be a bit extreme there, but I guess you walk the practice uphill.
No. But I mean, it was true. It's like, some people gain weight or lose a lot of weight in basic training, and then some people gain weight. Like I gained weight, just because it was just a different environment. But like I said, going back to the thing, like once you've wrestled, everything else is easy. It really is.
And I see with your son Will, I've seen like you put him in wrestling at an early age. He didn't really like it. You tried it with him, didn't force him into it. Then he came back and he started wrestling again this year. Is it junior or senior year?
Senior year, yeah.
Yeah, came back and he's like, you know what? I want to do it, and it's all. And he looks like a different kid.
Oh yeah, and the thing of it is, we were talking the other day, and I think he has a lot of regret about not sticking it out. The funny thing is, him and Bryce are born a day apart, right in the same hospital, in right next door to each other. They were born a day apart, right? So like, I think he really sees Bryce. He talked really highly of Bryce, practiced with Bryce in the room, and I think he has a lot of regret about not sticking with it at an early age, and he kind of wanted to just throw himself out there again. And dude, I was super proud of him.
So Coach Christensen, who we can't say enough good things about, he brought the whole wrestling there was like 30 some kids. He brought them down to our Thanksgiving Day circuit or whatever. Yeah. And so you and I don't know, a week or so later, we're talking about, and you said, yeah, the CM wrestling tournament, and you're talking about Will, your son, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm like, he's wrestling? And you're like, yeah, he's wrestling. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that. He's like, well, he was at your workout on Thanksgiving. I'm like, no, he wasn't. And then you pulled up a picture of him and I together. Yeah. And dude, like I've known Will. I mean, I've known you. I mean, we really established a friendship about 13 years ago. So I've known Will, 17, 18, when he's 17 or 18 now, minus 13. I've known him since he was that age. He was coming to the yard and watching you work out. And I've known him for that long, and I didn't even recognize him. And wrestling just kind of turned him into, he looks like a different person.
Yeah, he's a little animal, dude. Like he's like 130 pounds now, 130.
Wow. I think he weighed 130 pounds in 8th grade.
Oh yeah, I mean he was one of those. That's just how he was built. You know what I mean? And like over the past couple of years, he's transformed. And like, I mean, yeah, I look at him and I'm like, man, I hear you, bud. I wish you would have stuck it out too. But That's just how
But I'm glad he came back out, and and speaking of like getting your kid, like the female wrestling now has become way more popular. I got some freaking savage girls that come down here that wrestle, and I love to see. I mean, I'll tell you what, man, if you have a daughter at an early age, get her into wrestling. Like I said, if she doesn't, maybe she doesn't stick with it, but if she takes a little bit out of that for self-defense, just takedowns, or just what I'm saying, how to defend herself just a little bit. I mean, you won. You just want to take championship.
Yeah. I got 2 daughters of my own, like I mean, they were both cheerleaders and they're both animals too, but like
Jara would have beat some people's faces off if she would have wrestled.
I think about them girls like Jara, Morgan, Jackie, dude.
Yeah.
All these, I think, I don't know why, but cheerleading and wrestling probably have like a pretty good crossover. Like if they got a mean streak in them, dude, like they could be animals. Like
I didn't know, and I apologize for this. I'll go back in time 14 years ago and apologize. I didn't know what great athletes cheerleaders were until I met your daughter when she started doing circuit in the yard. I don't even know how old she was at the time. How old was she? Was she 8th grade? Something.
Just in high school.
So she was so young, and I remember her just like. Her explosiveness was just crazy, and athleticism, like jumping on the tallest plyo box. I remember in the garage stacking up plates and her jumping on top of them. And how old is she now?
28. Yeah.
And she's still doing circuit. They were down here. Her and her husband were down at Pride this week. But until I met her, and then Morgan, and then like Kennedy Bickmore, I had no idea how like athletic and explosive and things like that.
It's a different, I don't know. I guess you grow up as a kid and like, I guess as a dad, it's different, but like, you just think you have this preconceived notion that cheerleaders are just dainty and, they hairspray and makeup and all that stuff. But
we don't think of all the lifting, lifting each other over. Like I remember I used to go to the Illinois Mizzou basketball game, and they would do this contest where there would be a male cheerleader from Illinois and a male cheerleader from Mizzou, and they would both hold up a girl above their head, and they would have a contest to see who could do it the longest. And that it was amazing. I was amazed. That was more amazing than the basketball game every time.
Well, it's just, I mean, you get into that college stuff, and it's different too. Like, I mean, those guys are units, dude. They're like offensive linemen. You know what I mean? Like, but they can do a standing front flip,
Yeah. They'll whip your ass. Sammy, my sister-in-law, Sammy, jumped on here. She goes, thank God I signed on for just that line, talking about, because she was a cheerleader, and she just heard that. Yeah, she's all excited about that.
Jerseyville, right? Jerseyville.
I'm just yeah. Doug Dreeth signed on here. The YouTube Doug Dreeth just signed here. He says, is that the guy from Brown Dog Builds? Well, look at that. You're famous.
Yeah, like now you have 1.2 million fans.
And that you and I actually talked about that this morning, about having you on this show to kind of talk about your Brown Dog Build, your wood shop, and your channel and things. I don't want to talk too much about that today, because that's what I want to have you on the show for.
Well, good,
I can't
that's
believe
be a
one.
Short conversation. That'll be a real short conversation, so you better have others.
Can't be rougher than this one. I can't believe no one else is jumping on here live. Do you know what I'm saying? Why didn't Sammy Locks jump on here and make that conversation? Why didn't Doug Dreeth jump on the leak and hop on here and talk to us?
I don't know. Doug's maybe like recording. I looked on this morning. He had some giant manta ray with his face bouncing around it. He's probably busy making a YouTube short or something.
Yeah, he probably is. Well, brother, I wish you were going up to wrestling with us. One, just because we would have some fun, and two, just to be let you and Don Brown go at it instead of me having to listen to him the whole time.
Next time, maybe I'll get an invite. Like that usually helps.
You can feel free to take mine. Anyway, Justin, thanks for jumping on here. And anyone listen to this, they know how good of friends we are. Like you and I did not plan on you being on here. You just
I'm glad we didn't plan it, dude, because I probably would have not done it. I probably wouldn't have jumped on here. You just caught me in a moment of weakness. I felt sorry for you.
I like it. I've met my limit on talking to you. Crazy Michelle jumped on. I'm still waiting on Justin to make me a bed.
Oh man! Again, it's like invites. You gotta ask.
There you go. There you go. All right, brother, man. Hey, thanks for jumping on. I really had nothing to talk about today, which I know is surprising. I know is very surprising to you, Justin.
Yeah. Well, you managed to talk about nothing for 20 minutes. So.
Well, I managed to do that 5 days a week on here. It's
you get a break on Saturday and Sunday. I can't wait.
Who knows what Sergeant Margaret's saying, but she says smells good too. I don't know what that means. Dude, she better not be talking about you.
Yeah, she ain't talking about you, bud.
Well, that's for sure. A funny thing is, you and I talked on the phone yesterday. We're like two women talking on the phone every day, but we were talking on the phone yesterday, and I said, "Hey, you've been making any videos?" And he said, "Nah, I've been too busy trying to keep up watching all yours." That was funny. Anyway, hey bud, thanks for coming on. Thanks everybody for listening. Have a great freaking weekend. Thanks for listening to Eat, Slay, Live, Daily Growth. Thanks for growing with us and slay on. See you, brother, man.
All right, see you, man. See you, bud.